Artificial intelligence is pretty much everywhere now. It helps us pick what movie to watch, it tells us the fastest way to get to work, but now it's stepping into one of the most personal, most important parts of our lives, our healthcare. And as AI walks into the clinic, it brings up this huge, fundamental question: who's really in control here? So, leading the charge on this are companies like MedAI. They're building systems to automate all sorts of things in a doctor's office. Scheduling, patient communication, that kind of stuff. But as this tech gets smarter and more powerful, it surfaces a really critical issue. And that's the real heart of what we're digging into today. When you've got an algorithm as part of the team, where does the buck stop? Is it with the doctor, or is it with the machine they're using? Believe me, this tension is at the center of a massive debate in medical tech right now. To really get what this debate is all about, first, we have to talk about the biggest fear surrounding AI and medicine. And it all comes down to a concept known as the black box. This quote from our source material just nails the anxiety perfectly, doesn't it? The thought of handing over critical parts of your job to a system you don't really understand or control. For a doctor, that's got to be a genuinely terrifying thought. So what even is a black box AI? Well, think of it this way. You can see the information that goes in and you can see the decision that comes out, but everything that happens in the middle, it's a total mystery. The AI kind of just figures it out on its own, and the human user can't easily see how or why. It's that total lack of transparency that really fuels the fear. Okay, but what if there's another way to do this? The source material we're looking at today proposes a totally different philosophy, a real alternative to that scary black box model. They call it the playbook approach. And this quote right here just completely reframes the whole conversation. The AI isn't some independent genius making its own calls. Nope. Instead, it's more like a super capable assistant that only does one thing. It follows a playbook that is written and completely controlled by the human expert. The AI doesn't have its own playbook. It only follows yours. This really lays out the difference perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the black box model, right? The mysterious AI is in the driver's seat. But on the right, you have the playbook model. And here, the physician is the one in complete control. And they're just using the AI as a tool to execute their game plan. The human expert is always at the center of everything. So the philosophy sounds good, right? But how does it actually work in the real world? Let's take a look at how this playbook model is actually put into practice to make sure the doctor always has the final say. Okay, so this whole system is built on a foundation of user control, and it's broken down into 4 essential pillars. These are the specific concrete mechanisms that keep the AI on a tight leash and prevent it from ever going rogue. These 4 pillars are what make sure the physician is always the one in command. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. First, you define the rules. Then, you review the results. You can literally check call transcripts to see what it's doing. If something's off, you can adjust the behavior on the fly. And finally, you set the boundaries, creating strict no-go zones. It's a system designed for total, continuous human control. Right, so when you piece all of this together, the philosophy, the pillars of control, a really clear picture starts to form about what this technology is actually for. And it's definitely not about kicking the expert out of the room. The core idea here is all about augmentation. This AI is designed to be a force multiplier for medical professionals. It's there to handle the repetitive stuff and run the plays you've already designed so that doctors and their staff can focus their brainpower on what really matters, taking care of patients. It's about making humans better at their jobs, not making their jobs go away. So this whole playbook model, it offers a pretty compelling vision for how AI can work in medicine, right? It puts controls squarely in the hands of the experts. But it also brings us to one last fascinating question about the future. As these AI systems get exponentially more capable, truly smart, is a human-defined playbook going to be enough to manage them? Or are we going to hit a point where the AI's incredible potential is actually being held back by its human operator? It's a question that's probably going to define the next chapter in the story of medicine and machines. So, what do you think?